The last broadcast. The wind howled through the broken windows of the old Hillridge radio station, a long-abandoned relic perched on the edge of town. Its rusting tower cast a skeletal shadow in the moonlight, and its doors, once revolving with the rhythm of DJs and producers, hadn't opened in decades. Except tonight. Jake Mallory, a paranormal podcast host, grinned as he set up his gear inside the station's dusty control room. He was live streaming this ghost hunt to his thousands of followers. They loved this stuff, especially when the locations were supposedly cursed. "All right, folks," Jake spoke into his microphone, the red "on AR" sign flickering unexpectedly. "This is Midnight Static, and tonight, we're broadcasting from the infamous Hillridge station, where the last transmission happened exactly 40 years ago." His voice echoed through the room, bounced off decaying walls and long-dead equipment, but his listeners weren't the only ones hearing him. Jake had done his research. On the night of November 2nd, 1985, the final host of Hillridge, DJ Marcus Lee, made a chilling broadcast. It wasn't on the schedule, no one approved it, and according to surviving tape reels, Marcus sounded off. He kept repeating the same phrase between songs. "They're here, behind the static, they want a voice." Jake pulled out the original reel and threaded it into an old player. "Now here's the moment you've all been waiting for," he said. "Let's hear the infamous last broadcast." The tape whirred to life, static. Then a voice, distorted, distant, but human. "They want a voice. They're in the signal." Suddenly, the reel jammed and screeched like a dying animal. Jake yanked it out. "Well, that was creepy. Let's check the next room." He moved down the corridor, flashlight shaking as he walked. The building creaked like it remembered being alive. Posters from the 80s peeled from the walls, and coffee mugs still sat on desks, fossilized in dust. Jake entered the recording booth. A single chair stood in the middle, the mic still positioned as if someone had just used it. He sat down and turned on the ancient console. To his surprise, the system lit up. "No way," he whispered. "This place has no power." But the monitor buzzed to life. A message blinked. "Broadcast ready." Jake's heart pounded. Was this some elaborate prank? Maybe an old battery backup was still running? He leaned into the mic. Hello? If anyone's out there, we hear you." Jake jumped back. That voice wasn't his. It came from the headphones. He looked at the mixer. There was only one mic on. "Who's this?" he asked, forcing bravado. Silence. Then, "Behind the static. Let us speak." The temperature dropped. His breath became visible. Jake felt an unseen presence wrap around him like invisible fingers. I think that's enough for tonight, folks," he stammered, reaching for the power switch. But it wouldn't budge. None of the buttons responded. The door slammed shut behind him. From the speakers, a deep voice growled, "You brought us back!" Your voice opened the gate. Suddenly, the room began to flicker. It was no longer night. The walls glowed with a sepia hue. Through the booth window, Jake saw people, technicians and DJs, walking around, but they weren't real. They moved in loops, repeating the same gestures, like ghosts trapped in memory. A man entered the booth. Jake screamed. It was Marcus Lee, but his face was distorted, eyes hollow, lips moving silently. He sat across from Jake, staring directly into him. Jake's live stream was still on. His viewers flooded the chat. "WTF is that guy? This is insane. Jake, get out!" Marcus finally spoke. "You invited them." Jake could barely breathe. "Who? What are they?" Marcus leaned closer. "Voices that never died. You gave them a frequency." Suddenly the console lit up again. The sliders moved on their own. The mic hissed. "We want to be heard." One by one, the screens across the room filled with faces. Not just Marcus's, but dozens. All pale, all screaming silently. Jake grabbed his gear and bolted for the door, but it wouldn't open. The handle melted in his hand like wax. The lights went out. Only the sound of static remained. 12 hours later, Detective Lisa Tran sipped her coffee as she stared at the police tape surrounding the old station. Jake Mallory's viewers had reported the stream after it abruptly ended with a scream and what sounded like hundreds of overlapping voices. They'd found the station just as it had been in the video, but no sign of Jake. All that was left was his laptop, still running. The last recording was open. Lisa hit play. At first it was just silence, then static, then Jake's voice. But he wasn't reporting. He was whispering. "Help me. I'm still here. Behind the static. Don't let them use my voice." Lisa paused the recording. From the speaker came a new voice, soft and chilling. "Detective, would you like to go on air?" Epilogue. The Hillridge radio station was torn down 6 months later, but odd reports surfaced across town. Radios turning on by themselves, whispers in frequencies no one used, listeners claiming to hear Jake Mallory during midnight hours, begging for help. And one common thread remained. Every broadcast ended with the same phrase: "They're behind the static. They want a voice."